If you're looking to move home this summer and you fancy living by the coast, bad news, I'm afraid.
You could be priced right out of the market because recent data shows that the average price of a home by the sea has jumped up by more than £22,000 in 2 years.
Yeah, the biggest jump, well, no surprise if you know the area, Sandbanks in Dorset, or Poole, basically.
Yeah.
The average price has jumped to a stunning £929,000. Let's talk.
That's the average price.
Average price. So there's Jack Blows, Director of Coastal Homes, and Freddie Poser, Deputy Director of Priced Out. Freddie, let's start with you. This is not good news then as far as you're concerned.
No, absolutely not. Younger people in these areas who want to live and work are being completely priced out of the market, as you say. You know, £900,000 is completely out of the range for almost everybody in this country, but especially young people. And it doesn't seem like there's an end in sight to the crisis.
And as I say, it's not just young people looking at it, how are we ever going to get in the housing market? You're just not going to be able to get a nice house by the sea anymore, are you? Unless you're very, very rich.
Absolutely. I mean, these communities are becoming sort of exclaves for people who can afford them, and that is going to become a very exclusive community, and most of us are never going to get a look in.
No, look, Jack, I mean, it's depressing news for anyone who's trying to get on the housing market in those areas. But, I mean, from a seller's perspective, great news. I mean, I think you cover the sort of the Leigh-on-Sea, Southend area, don't you?
That's right, Essex. Specifically, yeah, obviously, sellers are very happy. Prices in Leigh over the last year are up about 5%. So 20,000 is a rough, good start point. Although prices, average prices there are a bit different. Average price of a semi is about 450. So I can't speak to the other areas of coastal areas of Essex.
It's still a lot of money. When the average house price in the UK has gone up anyway, but it's about 270, isn't it? That sort of figure. So it's still a lot more.
Yeah, still considerably more. Fortunately, there are other areas in and around Essex and Leigh-on-Sea that are a bit more affordable, but COVID, I think, has...
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is it COVID? Because, yeah. I mean, people have always wanted a home by the sea, haven't they? Actually, on the seafront or something has always been popular. Right. But this rise has happened at the same time as COVID. And that must be, surely, because people value being able to look out the window more, actually staying at home.
Yeah, there's chance
not working from home.
Yeah, so some of the criteria that's changed now is people are even looking for bike storage. They just want some more space. They're bigger homes. They're swapping out the city life for something near the coast. Flats and whatnot in central locations aren't as desirable anymore. And accompanied with the sort of working from home, gives people the flexibility now to sort of live by the coast.
I guess it does. Look, I mean, Freddie, is part of this driven, do you think, by the sort of posh lot moving in, those with plenty of cash actually pricing people out?
So a lot of it is to do with either people moving out of cities or second homes, but deep down, as with the housing crisis across the country, the issue is we haven't built enough homes. There's a really high demand for these properties. We haven't built new ones on the requisite scale for decades. So, you know, you put 2 and 2 together and you get these massive price rises. It turns out that after COVID, we saw, you know, big demand in these areas, but it was no surprise that prices were going to continue to rise when we haven't built the homes we need up and down the country for years.
I always think that the experts always say the economy is doing well when house prices rise. I never quite see it that way because it's very, very expensive just trying to put a roof over your head.
Absolutely. So if you're lucky enough to own a home, your wealth on paper does rise. But actually, for those of us who are renting or looking to move, it's not necessarily a good thing. And it can also hamper the productivity of the real economy if house prices are so high that you can't afford to live in these most productive areas of the country. So it's not, I'd say it's not a good thing that we keep having these massive price rises in coastal areas or elsewhere.
OK, look, Freddie Poser and Jack Blows, thank you both very much indeed. Good to get your perspective on that one.